Good evening, everybody. How we all doing? Not sure if anybody's here. Let's check before I get too committed to something. Oh. Legend of Adventures is on. Nice.
One, two,
Huh.
and four. Count what you have now. Don't count what you
The ad break's still going? Alright. Yeah, yesterday was fun. I was supposed to be home by like 4 or 5 so I could maybe stream. Did not happen. Mainly due to my own stupidity. Because I was like, I want to sleep in. I want to enjoy Canada for a couple more hours. Only to be like, shit, fairy, right? So yeah. Alright, let's see here. Do we want to watch some ghost videos tonight? Arya Conan, we'll have that to watch later. Yeah, we were gonna play in Dream Barbecue, but I was just kind of like, meh. Well, fine. We weren't even ready to raid, but fine, we'll raid Micah. Alright, let's see what we got. Does our favorite nukes have something? Apparently Nukes has a new video. Do that. Yeah, I was gonna play Ana, and then I was just like, by the time I got all ready and everything, it's like... Sweet, my entire schedule has been thrown off. Ever since work made me go to 5, I've... Woo! Yeah. Yeah, ever since work threw me to 5 in the morning to 1:30, I've been just thrown off. Cause like I either have to stream or get sleep. Like that's pretty much been my problem. So tonight we're just gonna do the lazy thing, which is gonna be this chatting stream until I get bored of it. So probably a really short one tonight. Here, let's do a nukes. Ah, thank goodness. It wasn't the bad one. I just need to turn it off. Let me make sure it's not the bad one. It didn't look like the bad one. What do you... Good, wait a minute. Oh! Fuck me. There. Doing nukes, and then I'll...
A woman named Natalie who lives in the UK with her family says that lately strange things have been happening in their home. Natalie says that recently they have been doing renovations in their older house, and she believes that all of the activity might have disturbed something in the home. Something dark and sinister. One night while her son is sleeping, this happens. Some unseen force seems to grab Natalie's son by his ankle and pull him right off the bed. The boy cries, and as if he is speaking to someone that we can't see, he says, "I don't like it. No." Natalie says that her son then ran into their bedroom crying and said that there was a man in his room. Obviously, we can see that there was no man in his room, so just who or what
To be fair,
pulled the
way
boy's
kid
leg?
angled and everything, I feel like
You
he was
decide.
napping or something, and somebody was
Reality
fucking
check.
with him.
Now, before we start with this video, it needs a little bit of explanation. So the Quest 3 VR headset has a mixed reality mode where it can scan your room, including all furniture, and it will actually project your game onto the walls, ceiling, and furniture of your own house. This tech uses infrared light and depth sensors to only detect things in the room, and it's actually very accurate.
Oh.
So Reddit user Moki is playing a kids game called First Encounter where you shoot at puffy little aliens that virtually run around your house. But her Quest VR headset is picking up something very strange in her home.
You changed your icon. I was like, who the hell is that? Oh, I just realized Barry's hidden.
Yep.
Now
feels like that's
again, it
part of the
bears
game.
mentioning that Moki is playing a kids game. This is not a ghost game, and whatever that is should not be there. The Quest VR headset has detected something very strange in her hallway.
How you doing?
Something shadowy that looks like a man standing there in a dark hood or robe. So just what do you think that her VR headset was picking up? Let me know.
I
The
think it's
Midnight
an Easter
Messenger.
egg in the game.
Jennifer is taking care of her elderly mother who is
That-
critically ill. One night,
Feels
she
like
sees
cinnamon
something on her
Easter egg.
mother bedroom video monitor that gives her
We're just doing some
goosebumps.
just chatting, just reacting to some videos and stuff.
Okay.
Did you hear it? In the middle of the night, a quiet little female voice seems to whisper, "Come," and the elderly woman seems to raise her hands and responds, "Okay." Then again, we hear the quiet little voice clearly say, "Mama."
Okay.
The The woman's daughter Jennifer says that she believes that this is the voice of her sister who passed away in 2017. She believes that her sister is there to comfort their mom as she passes over to the other side.
Okay.
See, the way it
By
sounds,
the way,
it sounds like
Jennifer's
it's
family
added
has
post.
recently had a lot of bad news, with both her elderly father and mother sadly becoming critically ill. If you'd like to help them, you can check out their GoFundMe at this link, which you can also find down in the video description. Scratching the surface. Tara Rule says that as a child, she lived in a haunted house. She says that as she grew up, she believes that some strange paranormal entity from the house attached itself to her.
I'm gonna tell you a ghost story, a true ghost story, and I believe that whatever it is has followed me here.
Tara says
I
that
was
she
half
often finds
expecting there
all
to
of
be
the
a face in the
cabinets in her
window.
kitchen open. She also says that her cat sometimes seems spooked and will actually just hide for no reason. But Tara
just
says
cats.
that lately, things in her house have started to get even spookier.
I'm on the phone with my stepdad today, right? He goes, "Who's there with you?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Who's there with you?" I was like, "No one, why?" And he's like, "Who's that guy talking?" I'm like, "I'm here completely alone. What do you mean?" He's like, "There's a man talking, like just as loud as you right now." And I was like, "I don't hear anything." And then he said it stopped.
But it gets even weirder, because you see, recently scratches have started to form on Tara's windows, but not on the inside. Tara has noticed that there are now strange deep scratches on the outside of the windows of her apartment on the second floor.
So bad news, there's new scratches. Again, these are on the outside of the windows, and I'm on the second floor. You can tell me what you think it says.
You could have a bird or something like on your window.
I don't know what it says, but it looks like it's like 4 letters maybe. Again, this is on the outside of the window, you can see. Second floor. But I'll show you, these are definitely on the outside of the window, because I can wipe and wipe and wipe, and they're 100% on the outside. The only other like weird-ish thing to note is I've been hearing like loud noises.
See, that can easily be faked.
Am I f***ing?
The ghost just
That's
wants a
Jackie. Oh my God,
sandwich.
thank God.
Just let it make a sandwich. Oh, don't give the ghost that weird look. Just let it make a sandwich.
It's just a little hungry. It just wants a sandwich.
He just wants some hot chocolate and a grilled cheese.
Oh my God, Jackie! I'm sorry, dude. You just scared the holy out of me.
As Tara is showing the new scratches that have formed on her windows, she actually manages to capture one of the kitchen cabinets opening all on its own. Understandably, she is a bit freaked out.
See, the thing is, though, it's like
To
it's
this day,
perfectly
Tara
lined up
Rule
to where
still
you can't see
experiences
anything
strange
attached to the
activity
door.
in her
Not
apartment,
fishing
and she
line.
found new scratches on her
What?
windows just days ago.
What was that? Jack? What was that? Jack?
Hmm?
What was that?
So it's totally not fishing line.
Oh yeah, no, the thing is, it's like it's perfectly lined up to where you can only just see the door opening. You can't see anything else behind her.
If you see something that you think would be perfect for the top 5, email me at nukestop5@gmail.com. You can also tag me on TikTok at Nukes Top 5 Official, and be sure to tag me only at Nukes Top 5 Official because there are a lot of fake accounts on there. The other side. Brother and sister Josh and Crystal are doing a paranormal investigation at the notoriously haunted Hotel del Coronado in San Diego, California. The old hotel opened in 1888, and over the last 137
pointing
years,
out fakes.
Yeah, the fact that we point out fakes. Yeah, why are you so quiet? Where's the sound mixer? No, that's wrong. Yeah.
workers and visitors at the hotel claim to have witnessed multiple paranormal
Sorry about the
incidents
late
and
responses.
sightings.
I can't really
There are
hear you
constant
on
reports of
Discord.
lights flickering,
Well,
televisions
that's-
turning
well,
on and
you
off,
might need to turn
and
me
things
up.
flying off
On your
shelves.
end.
Josh and Crystal see something in a side room and try to catch it on film. It doesn't really work, but they do catch something even creepier.
It's okay. I can see you. Come to me. Are you a little boy?
Fucking stands up 7 feet tall. No, motherfucker.
It's okay.
It's ooh.
Come here. It's okay. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but it looks like it's going like back and forth. See movie? See movie?
Okay, you're talking to a weird shadow creature?
Oh, that's why.
It's okay.
What?
Okay, I finally fixed it. For some reason, my output device was to the monitor.
That's weird. But yeah, she's talking to the
Yep.
shadow creature, and I'm just like, sweetie, honey, I don't think that's a kid.
It's more things attached to more fishing line.
In this situation, if it's a ghost, I'm like, sweetie, you're talking to a shadow creature. I don't think you're talking to a little kid.
Like, no, honey, there's a bird outside. Look.
Well, in this situation, if she's talking to a real ghost and she's talking to a shadow creature, it's just like, sweetie, shadow creatures don't tend to be ghosts of like dead people. They tend to be very bad stuff.
They tend to want to kill you.
Trust me, coming from a demon, it's usually not a good thing.
Come back, come back.
Where?
No, you come back. Go straight, look straight towards me. No, turn towards me like you were.
That's
earlier.
why I said
Put your
if
back towards me.
As Crystal attempts to talk to the spirit of a little boy that she believes haunts the room,
And then there's a
suddenly
perfectly
Josh's
fucking
camera
photoshopped
captures the
shadow.
spooky, unexplained shadow of a little child that seems to run right past Crystal from the other side.
Earlier, put your back towards me.
So did Josh and Crystal catch evidence of the supernatural at the old Hotel del Coronado? As always, you decide.
It's either photoshopped in or it's a kid outside in the window, outside of the window. See, there's like 50 different explanations for what it could be. But if it is a ghosty goo, it's like shadow creatures tend not to be a good thing. They tend not to be a good thing in supernatural stuff.
I saw one guy, you might have heard of him, J Station. He was notorious for making outlandish videos, and the main ghost he had was Zozo, basically a demon entity that appeared even if you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
And shadow creatures are usually associated with stuff like that. So And that particular creature was made out to be very violent and could possibly kill you.
Yeah.
So
That's why I
yeah,
said shadow creatures tend to be not good. So if you're speaking to a shadow creature that's acting like it's a kid, I'm like, that's trying to get you close to it. So it can do some bad stuff.
Side. Give me shelter. YouTuber Tyson Pierce has a channel dedicated to travel, the outdoors,
I can't do
and
the
basic
cover.
survival in nature. But on one fateful day, all of his training is put to the ultimate test when something happens that is absolutely terrifying. Tyson is out in the middle of nowhere in Hawkesbury, Ontario, Canada, building what he calls a Viking turf house survival hut. Tagging along with him to help are his younger brother and his friend. The guys are about halfway through building the Viking hut when suddenly an urgent weather warning comes through on Tyson's phone.
Environment Canada has
My
issued
goodness,
a
that looks
severe
amazing.
thunderstorm warning.
that looks amazing.
Oh yeah, he's one of those guys who actually might know what he's doing. I don't know. I'd have to watch one of his videos to see. He might actually know what he's doing. He might be one of those guys who's faking it and they're just building it off screen with modern equipment.
Also, once have I cut in and out yet?
No, you're quiet, and I would have to play around with my audio settings because I think I turned Discord because you're maxed out on
Okay,
Discord
yeah,
for me.
I think the quietness is just on me talking low.
Yeah.
But I finally can talk to you without having to repeat 1,000 times.
That's why I said I have to like pause it when you're talking just so I can hear you, but that's probably just my settings.
Yeah, that Chromebook was screwing things a lot.
Had to reset my knife.
Mobile coverage area, take cover immediately if threatening.
But he and the boys are in the middle of nowhere with no time to get out of there. Now, before I show this in accordance with YouTube rules, let me note that absolutely no one was hurt in this video. But this frightening scene is what happened as the storm rolled in.
Oh, leap.
What the hell? Oh my god.
Holy sh**.
I'm going.
Oh, je pense qu'il y a une tornade.
Non, oui, maman.
On peut pas se sauver, c'est d'être là. Check.
Guys, ils sont faits.
Check.
Qu'est-ce qu'ils t'ont fait?
Elle s'en vient, reste en dedans.
Non, non, non.
En dedans, en dedans.
Je m'en vais.
Non, on peut pas, il est trop tard.
I saw a mini
En dedans.
tornado.
Reste en dessous. Tornado!
Oh god, that's actually terrifying.
Stay low! Stay low! Stay!
Yeah.
Stay!
That's
Stay
fucking
low.
terrifying.
No!
I didn't know Ontario
Stay!
got.
Stay! Oh, buddy! Stay! Stay! Stay!
Oh, they're lucky.
Stay! 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 Il est small ball! Il est small ball! Il est small ball! Stay low! No! No! We're good! We're good! We're good!
See, now that's
we're
probably
dying,
the
we're
scariest
dying, we're
video
dying.
of this
No!
entire
Stay!
one.
Stay!
Because that's actually something that legitimately can happen. I just didn't know Ontario could get tornadoes.
Stay! Stay!
Stay,
Just
Miguel.
had like a
Stay.
big rock. You
Stay.
had like, climbing gear too. It had like carabiners
Yeah.
in case of tornadoes like that.
Well, there's no thing you can really do to prevent it once if it gets near you.
Oh yeah. Also, you like my new avatar?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. Yes, Ontario gets tornadoes, and in fact, it is the tornado capital of Canada. Huh. Well, that's news.
Holy f***! C'est good, on est good.
I'm surprised you didn't know about it.
100%, sir.
What?
About the tornadoes.
I thought they were more of a, like, plains thing. I would guess, like, Saskatchewan would maybe get some. But I wasn't sure if they were, like, an American plains thing or not. I didn't know they went up that far. They got him up that far.
Please, God, please, please.
God, s'il vous plaît! Oh my God! No!
Please, no, please, stay low, stay low. Please, stay. Holy
Tyson, please!
Stay, please, God, please.
God, please!
This case scenario, they would
Well,
just topples onto them.
That's the thing. It's like, as long as there's nothing super heavy in that roof, it's just some. Well, I'm pretty sure the logs and stuff are heavy enough to probably hurt somebody. But that's why he had them get low and get under that thing, because it's like, worst case, that thing's just getting ripped off if they stay low enough to the ground.
They're good, are they good? 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 On the gang, guys, on it good. On
I
it
probably
good.
wouldn't be as calm.
Super.
Oh, they're
Probably
panicking.
wouldn't get freaked out.
He
Now again, let me repeat that in accordance with YouTube rules, none of the
He's being calm for the kids. I'm pretty sure he shit his pants. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he shit his pants, but he's trying to be calm for the kids because it's like, no, we're fine. It's like, we're safe. It's like, as long as this shit doesn't get ripped out, we're fine. It sounds terrifying.
You know what, though? For me, if anything, after building that shelter, I'd probably be sweaty, and that wind would probably be feeling really good.
Oh, it probably felt good right up until the tornado got there. And then as soon as it got there, it's like, oh shit.
What would be going through my head is like, as long as just a couple branches, light branches, fall on me, I'm fine.
Remember that technically tornadoes get strong enough that they can launch shit through like logs and things that normally would not be able to go through a log.
As long as some leaves pepper me, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
these guys were hurt. Because of the amazing stability of Tyson's shelter, everyone survived.
It wasn't the shelter. He got low, and that was like a wind tunnel, and they were below the wind tunnel part.
It was like a wind umbrella.
Yeah. It didn't... The structure probably didn't save them. It was probably just the fact that they were far enough... They were lower than the actual ground. And that thing was probably just acting like a wind tunnel that was just pushing the air over them. So it probably sounded way more terrifying in person.
And made it out without a scrape. Tyson returns a few days after the storm to check out his shelter and the surrounding woods.
I remember that we had a tree in the front yard, and it just blew over, and it was right next to my room, and I didn't even hear a thing. I just slept like a log.
Yeah, no, they're not, it's weird. They're not loud, but if you know what you're listening for, it's like, oh.
That's my cabin. 2 trees. 2. That's my cabin right there. That is insane. Oh, that's snapped though.
Firewood.
Yeah, he's looking at what...
Trees.
Like, if it had gone just any longer or gotten any
The trees
closer.
around the shelter have been uprooted and blown to the ground, but the shelter is still there. The guys are even able to find their bikes buried under one of the downed trees.
Oh yes. Oh my god, no way.
Amazing.
Our bikes are good. Wow.
They got dumb luck. Yeah, that's that is dumb luck. That's all I will say. That if the tornado had gotten any closer, I'm sure it would have been worse, but jeez.
I'm looking good engineering.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good spot. My bike.
Our bikes are good.
So Tyson's amazing nature shelter actually saved their lives. He considers it a blessing that they were all able to escape without injury.
Thank you.
The Night Visitor. In the city of Gwalior in India,
See, we just
something
went from,
very
like, something
strange has been
actually creepy
happening.
to it's like,
Multiple
oh,
people
fuck.
have recorded CCTV footage of a strange woman wrapped head to toe in
You know, it
traditional
reminds me,
Indian
I was
clothing
in a
who seems
rain, like a thunderstorm, and I was chopping down trees, like with a saw, and just processing them in the rain. Had no use for it, but I just did it anyway for some reason.
Yeah. Okay, why is this mysterious woman so
to roam the streets late at night, ringing random doorbells before just vanishing without a trace. It is said that animals react strangely to the woman, often running in fear. On one late night, a family in Gwalior records the woman walking down their street.
Well, she's got a shadow.
ओ भैया देखो जी घंटी भी बजाई है इसने जी तमन आंटी की हाँ नहीं भैया इसकी थाने में सूचना देनी पड़ेगी हाँ भैया जी
The dreaded ding-dong nature.
सतीश की बुद्धि साफ नहीं आ रही यार
I don't think it's a woman. I think it might be just fucking with them.
वो तेरी भैया हाँ और कहने बैक और भी कुत्ती को धन्ना कर रही भैया देखो हाँ
A bull in the alley runs away in fear as the woman approaches.
I don't think it's
And
running
then
away.
as she rings one
I'm
of the
pretty sure it's just if they had like sound for those CCTV, it's just like just scaring the shit out of the bull to make it run off. It's probably like one of the teenagers just screwing with everybody.
I don't even know how you could scare a bull.
They have poor vision, and if it's in the middle of the night, you probably just have to make a loud noise, and they'll just be like, oh shit!
the doorbells, her arm seems to stretch in a bizarre, inhuman way. Now, no one knows who the woman is or why she repeats this strange behavior night after night. Some residents of the town believe that she might be some sort of spirit, especially since police have been called multiple times to the scene. But when they arrive, the woman can never be found. Just outside your window. It's late one.
It's a specific town. It's a specific dress. It's a teenager, or it's either a crackhead. This country's equivalent to a crackhead. Or it's a teenager who's bored as shit fucking with everybody.
No, you know what it was? A trick-or-treater who decided to play a trick on everyone in the neighborhood.
Well, this is in India. I don't know if they celebrate Halloween the same way. I don't think they do.
Well, that would be my best guess.
That's why I said I'm thinking this is like a teenager just fucking with everybody because they know the CCTV cameras are there. So they purposely wrap their face up and they start ringing on all the doorbells, and then when somebody runs out, they just start booking it. Because that's very teenager behavior.
One night when three brothers are asleep in their room, they wake up to a strange sound that seems to be coming from their window.
What was that, bro? Nah, bro, chill, bro. Hold it down. Bro, are you serious? That's a germ. Bro, it comes from my finger. Bro, but it's hot. No, germ. I don't care. No.
That would be giving the shotgun.
No.
What the fuck was it?
The boys have the fright of their life as they hear and see someone or something looking into their window, and they run from the room screaming.
See, the thing is, the only one who
Unfortunately,
sees
the clip was
anything-
posted without a source,
Yeah, that's the
so
thing.
we just have to wonder what they saw. And even scarier, we have to worry that these shaky bunk beds will someday come crashing down and crush that guy on the bottom bunk. Oh no.
My best guess is either the one in the bottom, the one in the top bunk, probably was screwing with them. Because here's the first off, that camera's pointed at all three of those beds. somebody set something up. That feels like that feels like an older sibling or a dad. It's just like, fucking kids haven't gone to bed. I'm gonna wait till they start to look like they're going to sleep, and then I'm gonna stick a camera on the roof, and then I'm gonna tap on the window and scare the shit out of them.
8 lives.
That'll
This
teach
next
them
video
to
was
play
sent in
that
by
Nintendo DS at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm. All the kids are asleep. Dad puts the camera up, point at the window. Make sure the kids stay asleep. Goes out back through the window and puts on like a scary Halloween mask and just starts tapping on the window until one of them sees him. They just all book it out and he laughs his ass off. That's a dad prank.
Just, well, you know what would be better? Have them watch the Halloween movie and put on a Michael Myers mask.
Pretty much. That's why I said that feels like somebody was pranking them. Like they were all staying over there and a friend decided to screw with them.
hundreds of Nuke's Top 5 viewers, but unfortunately, no one had a link to the original source. So the
hazing for the first time.
Pretty much. That's what it feels like. One of them either was in on it and knew that somebody was going to do it, or it's somebody that they know was screwing with them. Because he's like, oh yeah, it was posted without context. I'm like, it's a prank video then.
story goes that the owner's cat had recently passed away, but they believed that her ghost was haunting her old play cat tower. They claim they set up a camera and caught this spooky footage.
Oh. Her spirit is still here with us. It's a toy that randomly goes up. Okay, that's not hard to...
Now, I have no source on this video, and I'm certainly not saying it's a quote-unquote real video of a ghost cat, but it's definitely kinda creepy. And some animal lovers say that they actually find the video very comforting. But let me know what you think.
Okay, the ball, I'm trying to figure out how you would set that off. The toy is probably just it goes off randomly. The only way I can think maybe with the ball is you put like a piece of string on it on the back end and you pull it, but that it didn't move the toy, it completely just moved the ball. Maybe the ball's got a motor in it?
I would say like double-sided tape on the toy, and then attach the string, pull it until the string detaches from the ball.
That's what I'm thinking. It's just it has to just spin enough to do something without making the toy like go flying. As for the cat video, that's just a ghost image, which that's a Photoshop trick you can do. That's just they put two of the same video on top of each other and then they just like made one of them thin enough until the black cat was see-through.
I will admit though, there's some pretty cool footage, even though it's fake.
Almost all of these are fake, especially when he says there's no source. I'm like, yeah, if there's no source, it's fake. It's been faked, and it's probably something that's been disproven very quickly. Like I said, that toy probably goes off. The toy probably goes off randomly. They probably waited for the toy to go off, and then they pulled on the ball so that it would start spinning, and then they just timed it to have a ghost image in some Photoshop. You can download some, and it's not even Photoshop. You can download some like CapCut and a few others for your phone. So it's not even like you couldn't do it on your phone, sort of deal.
Scary videos. So
And
as
just
usual,
your
these are videos that were sent in that didn't really fit in the rest of the list. They're either a bit silly, a bit funny, or just kinda weird. So, Kaylee Shreve is working her shift at a Victoria's Secret store and she goes to take a restroom break. But things start to get
AKA
very weird.
Fake.
I swear to God, this hand dryer
Obviously
just
fake.
turned on by itself. And that's how far, like, this is how far away I am from it. Turn on again if there's somebody here with me. I will shit on myself right I'm not even wiping my ass.
Now that was truly disturbing. And let's hope that one of Kaylee's coworkers had a wet wipe or something.
I will shit on myself right.
Okay. My best guess is either something's on, like a bug or something's on one of the actually, are they bugs or is it a heat sensor? I don't think it's a motion. I think it's a heat sensor.
They would have to be.
Well, if it's a heat sensor, I don't know how you could. If it's a motion sensor, it's a bug going off in front of it. Are an essential part of how it is a motion sensor. Yes, most hand dryers use motion sensors, so it's probably a bug or something on a faulty sensor, or like something passing in front of that sensor just going off, and something just big enough to cover the sensor or both of the sensors. Specifically infrared sensors.
Infrared. So heat, right?
It's, yes, most use motion sensors to activate the drying. These sensors detect the pressure, press the flanges. So whatever on there is enough to trigger the infrared sensor.
I'm not even wiping my ass.
Next up, TikToker RCA is exploring an old
that's
abandoned
probably
house that is
either
said to be haunted.
coworkers screwing with
He
her,
encounters something lurking in the
or
decaying house that
faulty
shocks
machine.
him to his core.
Let's see.
What the Yo, what the
Fucking vulture's just like, what the fuck are you doing here? Did you hear that shit?
So it's only a black vulture, but these birds usually feed off dead things. So what if there's something dead in that? No, there's probably not. There's probably nothing in there. Anyway.
Adjusted too well.
Hmm.
Probably just didn't get adjusted too well to the light.
Well, you probably startled the shit out of it, and it's just like, because even it's panicking, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. Probably in there enjoying a nice decaying rat, and
Probably.
all of a sudden this
Could've been
guy comes
sleeping, too.
along.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he scared the shit out of it. It blasted out of there wherever it was hiding. It's just like, okay, we're here together.
And finally, there's nothing worse than when you rent a nice Airbnb and the owner decides to drop by to say hello. Especially if they drop by like this.
What the hell?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
You're the people that I let the house to, right?
Yeah.
That's just a bloke.
Yeah. Who are you?
I own the house.
What the?
Okay, that's cool. It's his garage. He has a secret door to the garage. So I think what happened is he didn't think he probably was coming to pick something up, didn't think the people were going to be there, and was just like, this is awkward shit.
Is he buying the house?
No, okay,
No.
so this is an Airbnb. So the guy who opens the garage, that's his house. Airbnbs are weird. So this guy's lending his house out. Either he was coming to quickly grab something, not realizing the guy was there, or he's being weird. He's doing just a random pop his head in to make sure there's no weird parties or anything going on. Because there are people who will buy Airbnbs just to have parties and then trash the place because it's cheaper just to pay for repairs. In those places. depending on how much
Though I
trash.
bet-
So he might
though
just
I
be being
bet,
weird.
I bet they got out of there real quick after this.
If the guy who owns it got out of there real quick, that's why I'm pretty sure he might have been coming to quickly pick something up, thinking, "Oh shit, we left it at the house," and it's like,
I mean,
shit.
The guy who's paying the guy rent.
Oh, most definitely, that guy's probably like, "Nah, fuck that, we're canceling." I would have immediately done the same thing. It is one of the reasons that Airbnbs are always hit or miss for me, because sometimes you'll get that amazing Airbnb where it's like where you get like an entire house to yourself and you're in the middle of the right place and everything's perfect. And then there's times where I'm just like, oh look, it's a spare bedroom with an air mattress. And the person's creepy. And they lied about every description on the building, on the thing.
I'm Richard.
What are you doing?
Airbnb, but all the photos
Well,
on the
then,
site
yeah, is
were
that a-
AI generated.
I was thinking about going and having a shower now.
Where's your trousers? Where's your trousers?
If it's not inconvenient right now, I'd like to use the bathroom.
Excuse me, mate. We've rented this house from you.
Oh,
Yeah, well, any
Oh,
problems?
that's so much
No, there's no
worse.
problems, mate. Just like,
With the house?
well, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Oh, this is even weirder. That's a secret bedroom. I thought that was I thought that was the garage because it looked like a garage. No, that's a secret bedroom, and he's coming out when they're not around to use the bathroom and shower and stuff. Oh,
out.
that's creepy and weird. Yeah, I'd cancel
Hear me
that
out.
shit quick.
Hey, why do I hear some squeaking coming from this wall?
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Is he didn't? Oh, that's weird. Because yeah, they do tell you you're not. Unless it's like a situation like one of the really nice Airbnbs I've done, where it was. When I went to New Jersey one time. With Nero. We rented this entire like apartment. That was like the first floor of a house. Because it's one of those old school houses where it's like. Have you ever seen the show Hey Arnold?
Oh yeah.
You know those houses where it's like 3 or 4 stories tall, and like there's multiple entrances depending on how. There's multiple entrances from the ground to it. Our entrance was on the ground floor. Technically, you had to go down a little bit to get into it, but it's like a basement. But it was all set up to be like in a separate apartment. They literally had it blocked off to where there was a door that was to like their main living area. But it was a mother-in-law suite, so we never interacted with them. They never interacted with us. We would hear them, but you would never see them unless we were coming out at the same time. And I think that's how this guy set it up, not realizing that it's like, no, you're not supposed to be there at the same time as the tenants, so it's not weird.
Yeah, I was about to say too that this guy obviously doesn't know that this is not normal.
The way he's acting, I think. Yeah.
I mean, he's pantsless in front of them, saying, "Oh yeah, I just."
That's why I
been
said I
here."
think what happened is he didn't think they were there, and so he was coming out of whatever little hiding space he was in, and it's just like, oh.
I was like, what are you doing here?
I live here. Look.
Okay, but like, what are you doing, mate? Where's my privacy?
No.
So hold a minute, yeah. Whilst we're sleeping, yeah, you're going out in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, I've got to put my dirty plates out there.
What are you just in a jail in there? And where's your clothes gone? Where's your clothes?
They're in the washing machine. Put the stuff in the washing machine. I hope you don't mind.
But it's a bit weird. What's happening? What's happening here?
Look, this should be no problem. I'm not going to interfere.
I get his mentality. I get it. he thinks it's like, oh, I'm just renting out an apartment and I'm treating it like an apartment. And it's like, no, that's not how Airbnbs work. This is weird.
Interfere with you.
But you're interfering with me now.
No. This is unfortunate.
He doesn't even have the decency to go and put it on his pants.
Well, that's why I said I didn't think he. I think he did. Either he didn't think they were there, or he's treating this like an apartment situation, where it's just like, oh, we're just roommates temporarily. It's like, no, you should never be this comfortable with your roommates unless it's like a you're actually dating kind of situation.
I do all this at night.
I think the no pants is the most disturbing part for me.
Yeah.
So that's all for this week.
Yeah, that was weird. Oh god, that was very weird.
You know, strangely enough, I would say having to be in a relationship as just to stay in the Airbnb would be a little more normal, in my opinion.
Well, I do not ever rent Airbnbs by myself. It's always with somebody else. But that's weird. Yeah, there's no way around it. That's just weird.
He doomed his fate.
That is, you cancel that shit as fast as possible.
Good thing
Hi,
is he's never
Rajanka.
going to get another tenant.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that dude reported that shit as fast as fucking possible. It's like, yeah, this is fucking weird. I want a refund.
Airbnb is going to turn around and look at him and say, "You did what?"
But that's the thing. I don't know how Airbnb is going to do. If anything, they might just take the listing off and be like, yeah, no, wait, that's weird. I do think it's kind of cool that he had a hidden room like that. But that's still
but that's
weird.
when you're hiding from someone.
Well, so I could find reasons for that. That would be cool to have like a secret D&D room.
Oh my goodness.
Or when your friends come over, it's like, oh yeah, you push the bookshelf up, you pull like the hand of Vecna or something, and it opens up the bookshelf, and it just goes into like a D&D style tavern hidden room.
Oh my goodness. There was video of a few guys building a room where they can hide from their wives, and they had to find them. They built an entire gaming setup, a gym, and a sauna, and just closed off those rooms as if it was not part of the house. It was so cool.
That's if you've got the kind of house space to do it. A lot of people, unless you custom build your house, it's kind of not easy to do that.
I mean, that's what a lot of people... I mean, that's what I want to do when I either get a house or have someone build a house for me.
Honestly, I would just... So, in my situation, I would just build a basement. I would maybe make the entrance to the basement like a secret door like that, but it would be one of those things where it's like, that would be set up like a kind of cool like underground area. If I'd had the money, funny enough, there's a house next door to me that has a basement, and that's probably what I would have done with the basement, is set it up to be a like entertainment room / game room.
Yeah, would it be cheaper to build a house or a bunker to live in?
House.
Not like a fancy... Oh, really?
Yes. Bunkers are a lot more... There's a lot more engineering involved. If you look it up... well, first off, Colin Firth is a perfect example of this. He's been building over the last... Well, since COVID now. Actually, it's been even longer than that if we're going to consider the original bunker. But even his original bunker, that's a complicated answer. That counts as a bunker. But,
no, that counts as something else.
Okay, so his original bunker, he dug out the area, built the thing in, and then covered it back up. I don't know if that technically counts as a bunker. I think it might count as a bunker here in America. I don't know if it counts as a bunker in the UK. I think it counts as a bomb shelter or something like that.
You gotta give the guy props. It's darn complicated.
Well, he was a plumber and he's got a bunch of construction friends, so it's really just figuring out the permits on how to do it. He's like, oh, I'm going to build technically a shed with a bomb shelter basement attachment. I think is what he sold it as what it originally was. He's now gotten to the point, funny enough, I think, where what he's done with his front yard, if you've looked up any Colin Furze videos, his front yard, he has dug it all out. He's reinforced it. He's now got I don't know if he's installed it yet, or he's going to be installing it soon. He has I don't know if he's installed it yet. He's going to have a car lift for his DeLorean he has. So it's going to be this car lift where he can drive up. He can bring this car lift up, drive onto the car lift. It will go down and then turn the car around. So when he comes back out, all he has to do is pull out. But he was talking about it recently. He's like, yeah, I had a friend of mine who helps sell houses and stuff ask if I was ever to sell it, how I would sell it. It's like, you would sell it as a bunker with a house attached. You wouldn't sell it as a house with a bunker. You wouldn't sell it as a house with a bunker. You would sell it as a bunker with a house attached to it.
I've seen a lot of videos revolving around that, and it is entertaining to watch him build the thing.
Well, Colin Furze, up until like very recently, he's always been sort of backyard mechanic with just a little bit of professionalism involved. Like, there's just enough professionalism with him that it's just like, yeah, technically. Technically, it's just professional enough. But, yeah.
Basically a British Mark Rober with the engineer turned up all the way.
Mark Rober is way more professional. Mark Rober actually knows, like, NASA scientists and stuff. No, I'm
just on part 3.
Well, I get why you compare him to Colin Furze. I'm trying to think of who in America is more like him.
Excellent.
If the original King of Random was alive, he kind of did some stuff like that, but he wasn't as bad. He wasn't as crazy.
No, not nearly as.
He's closer to... I'd say he's probably closer to a more crazy Hacksmith. But Hacksmith is actually... Hacksmith is engineers. They're actual engineers, too.
Actually, I would say Hacksmith is way more. Of course, they're a team, but like.
Well, Hacksmith and Mark Rober are more on the same thing of they're both professional engineers. It's just their type of engineers. Because I don't remember what kind of engineer Mark Rober was, but
he worked on the rovers.
Well, I know he worked on the rovers, but I don't think he was like the kind of engineering that Hacksmith does, where it's like Hacksmith is doing like prototyping engineering. Because that's what a lot of their actual work is. I think they've hinted at, is they do a lot of prototyping for people. So they're like, oh, hey, we want to test out this latchkey system. It's like, oh, yeah, we'll 3D print it up for you. We'll do a whole test and see if it's worth it.
You know, I think Colin Firth is going to be here a long time, considering the fact that there's not many people you can really compare him to.
The closest you can compare him to in America, and I don't even think he's uploaded videos in forever. Oh, you know who he's close to? There's two Americans that kind of fit his role. Well, the Backyard Engineer for one thing. Especially because he was... is it the Backyard... Which... Is it the Backyard... There's a couple who fit his... They're just crazy science stuff. Is the Backyard Scientist? Yeah, he kind of does some Colin Firth stuff. It's... One of the guys he hangs out with, also. Crap, who's the one who's the crazy one who does all the programming? Who does the robots to hurt people?
Right, the what? Oh, Michael Reeves.
Yeah, Michael Reeves is another one. And then there's the guy that Michael Reeves always hangs out with.
I think, I wouldn't say Michael Reeves is like Colin Firth.
That's why I was saying he's probably more like the Backyard Scientist, although the Backyard Scientist actually is an engineer of some kind. And he also, him and like, there's like 3 or 4 people where they all like were almost on Mythbusters here in America, and they all kind of do that kind of stuff.
Actually, Niall Red is kind of like Colin Firth in a way.
Yeah. There's several...
Because he does some absolutely crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's several American makers who kind of fit Colin's thing. But there's no, like, real one-to-one. At least in America. I keep forgetting I have a ton of these for rectal use only stickers, and I need to find some uses for them. I just picked one up, I was like, what the... I got him as a joke from something, and every once in a while I'll put him on something just to screw with people.
Also, I finally made some emotes.
Yeah, I need to make some too, or get some made.
I will happily make some for you.
We'll talk about that. But hi, Jack. How you doing? Another Jack.
No, that's me.
When did you change your name? Yeah, I don't know if Pocky's still here. I think she started stream is why. She was popping and she just wanted to say hi before she started. Let us see.
Yeah, I decided to change it.
Yeah, well, I need to fix mine. Although at this point, I think it's funnier keeping it misspelled.
Nami the Queen.
Well, no, it's... Look at it again. There's a certain letter miss. No. There's a certain letter mixing.
Oh.
And it screws... Most people don't... Most people are so used to it being spelled right, they just say the name right. So I don't question it, but there's some people who do that double take, like, oh, wait, how's it pronounced? No, you were right with Queen. I just think it's funnier.
What is it, Nami the Queen?
There are people who say that. It's supposed to be Queen. I somehow missed the U when I was typing.
That's what I did when I was first trying to, like, redo my name. I was supposed to type Jack O. Mellon, but I forgot the O, and I had to wait 52 days to redo it.
It's been long enough I could fix it. I think at this point, though, if I ever fix it, it's going to be right around the same time I get a proper banner with, like, a logo on it. And what I want is, like, this really nice, professionally made banner. I get a proper banner with, like, a logo on it. But I want it to be the U is missing, and there's just a post-it note where the U should be. It's just a crudely drawn U on it. When I finally fix it.
No. What you should do is have that poster and have a post-it note with an arrow and a U under the arrow.
It would have to be something like that. Where it's just one of those things where it's like, ew, I just saw an AI fake thing.
Oh no.
It's an AI live action trailer for Atlantis. I'm like, ew, no.
Please tell me that's not real.
It's AI, it's not real.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I didn't click on it. I'm not going to play it. It's like, no, I'm not going to. Oh, God, Huggabees.
we don't like AI here.
No. I just saw Hugbees, how it's made butter, and I'm like, oh, God, that actually would be funny to watch.
Oh, my goodness. I would love to watch that.
Alright, 1 second.
That dude's hilarious.
Butter has a rich history. The ancient Romans used it as a
speaking
beauty
of
cream and to
doing
treat
things right
burns.
with,
Even the Old
model
Testament
stuff,
mentions butter.
I'm thinking
Abraham
of
served it to
making my
angels.
own model.
Back then, people made butter by shaking.
I'm thinking of making my own model. That little guy on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make him into a fully fledged lumberjack.
I would say try doing it in Vroid. You can probably find a ton of free assets to help you, or if you really wanted to test your patience, you could try using the Vroid software to like sculpt.
Vroid.
Vroid. V-R-O-I. It's not Vroid. What? I forget what the software to make a Vroid is, but if you look up Vroids, there's a bunch of stuff that'll show you how to make them and everything. Because one of my original, like, my more 3D-ish model was a Vroid for the longest time.
How do you spell that?
V-R-O-I-D.
Okay, Vroid Studio.
Yeah, I would look into it. It's free. I just don't know since you're on a Chromebook unless you got a new laptop.
Oh, I got a full-on PC build.
Oh, then yeah, you'll be fine as long as it's got new enough hardware.
I think I have over 2 terabytes of storage.
Well, it's not the storage. It's what's your processor and RAM and graphics card.
Well, at least I won't have to worry about storing the darn model.
Well, yeah. Storage is always nice. It's just, do you remember what your graphics card and your processor and RAM are?
I got a Ryzen 5. So, is that good?
I think the Ryzen series is good, so yes. I know the Ryzen
Alright,
7
and-
is. I know the Ryzen 7 is the i7 equivalent or something like that.
Though, I think I may need a new graphics card.
Do you know
'Cause-
exactly which Ryzen it is? There's a few different Ryzen 5s. I'm going to assume it's probably the 56.
Well, I had to do it on budget, so...
It's either the 36 or the 56. So yeah, it should be fine. I will say this: you're gonna have a friend. You're gonna have a friend of a website soon to try out. Although some people debate on it. Here, I'm gonna bring it up for you. I'm not gonna bring it up for you. I'm just gonna. I don't know if Can I Run It is still okay to use or if people have moved on from it. It's one I've always used. So I'm going to just recommend it to you.
Can I run it?
It's literally called CanIRunIt.com. and you just type in the games that you want to play. And it will tell you if you can play it or not. Because what it'll do is it'll install a little thing that'll check all your hardware specs. As long as you're over like 16 gigs of RAM, you've got the Ryzen 7. I don't know what graphics card you got, but
I don't know either.
Did you get anything in boxes, or was it all bought on like eBay or anything like that?
Nah, the graphics card I got was from the thrift store.
Yeah. Is it Windows 10 or Windows 11?
I got Windows 11.
Okay. Is it system information?
Still proud of the fact that I was able to build this PC.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool that you did. I just want to know what you got so I can tell you what to do. If you type, okay, so if you type in the little search bar at the bottom, system information.
Setting. Oh yes, system information.
System information. You can see everything that I'm going to be asking for. Mainly, the only things I need to know are your. I've got your OS. It doesn't really matter if it's home or professional. I'm going to be looking for a processor, which we know that's a Ryzen.
Yeah, Ryzen, AMD, 3600 megahertz.
So it's the slightly less powerful one, but that should still be fine. You're just going to be gaming. You're not doing like a streaming rig like mine, so you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about uber power.
Cores.
Yeah. Well. AMD is weird. It's going to either have more. I think AMD has less cores, but the cores do more. If I remember right, one has less cores, but it does more. The other has more cores for like smaller processes. I think it's Intel has the more cores. Yeah, I think Intel has the more cores for more smaller processes. AMD has more cores for big processes, which is why AMD tends to actually be better for gaming. Just gaming.
So if I have a good graphics card,
which that's the
I
next
should
thing
be
we're
able
gonna.
to run.
You should be able to run you should be able to run a decent amount of stuff. Maybe just not at Uber settings. Let's see here. Where is it on here? Physical
I'm
memory.
fine with playing Potato.
I know. Well, sometimes Potato is better depending on the game. Installed physical memory. I don't care about any of the other stuff. I just want the physical because everything else is just. It'll be under time zone. It'll still be in system information. You just leave it on system summary. Or RAM is what you're also looking for. I don't know if it might pop up different for you. I know what mine is. Mine's almost maxed out on this board. I do know that.
Yeah.
It's going to be anywhere from 16 to 30. It's going to be anything from 16 to 128.
Total virtual memory, total physical memory, 8 gigabytes.
Okay, that is something to upgrade, but that can be a cheap thing. You just got to look up your motherboard and see what it's compatible with.
Yeah.
That's not hard. You just basically look up your motherboard and see what RAMs are compatible with it, and you just look for like 16 to 32. And see if see what your motherboard can handle, and then you just buy what it recommends. Because sometimes you can get some stuff that's actually really powerful for cheap because it's like a business grade stuff.
I still have yet to update the BIOS because for some reason I am having a hard time doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Now where's the graphics? That's the one thing I'm trying to find. Where is graphics on here? Graphics card. That should be like one of the main things. It's like it's one of the 3 things you need for this thing to run. Okay, is it in hardware resources? Oh, display. So you're going to go to components and click display. And it's going to be name. So yeah, if you go down to components, open it up, and then you go down to display. If you still have if you have system information open.
Are you serious? It's an NVIDIA?
Yeah, that's fine. There are some people who it's an NVIDIA that what is it?
It's a GTX 570. Huh.
An NVIDIA GTX 570?
Apparently. Oh, GeForce.
Huh. It's not... Okay, how new is that?
Apparently,
that probably will need to be upgraded. That will probably need to be upgraded for sure. You might need to upgrade your power supply then too, but power supplies are cheap.
I mean, the power supply, I got a, I forgot which brand it is, but it's brand new.
Well, the brand doesn't matter, it's the wattage that matters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what matters, because you need to be able to power everything at once. And you're plugged into your graphics card, you're using your graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
Good. You're not using the on. You're not using the onboard if it's got an onboard on the motherboard.
I wouldn't know how I would. It didn't work when I did.
Okay, so on the back of your motherboard, if there's a little thing for like an HDMI or like a different kind of monitor cable, actually, if your graphics card, if your motherboard's old enough, it might have a VGA. But you've got a Ryzen in there, so I doubt it's got a VGA on there. I'm pretty sure it's got an HDMI or display port.
Honestly, though, it's a pretty new motherboard. I can't remember what when it was built, but I think it's.
But yeah, that system information thing I just showed you, or I just told you what to look for. Where is it on here? Because I just saw it. Baseboard. That's what they call it. It's a
baseboard. It's a B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi MS.
Oh, that's
7C95.
I want to make sure that this works. Yeah, okay, so that is your motherboard. So if you copy and paste it, you can look at your motherboard specs and see what it recommends for, like, RAM upgrades. Yeah, that's mine. I was just looking at this, like, is this mine? Yeah, that's mine. But yeah, if you look, usually if you look up RAM recommendations or specifications, it'll tell you, like, yeah, it can handle between, usually some, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, DDR5 capacity. Yeah, so mine says 256. Fuck.
Oh.
That's a lot of fucking physical RAM. I don't run much that would need that.
You good?
I looked out of the side of my eye. I'm like, oh, 4 DDR5 maximum memory capacity. I'm thinking it's 156. I'm like, 256. I'm like, oh! So I literally have, like, the bare minimum in my PC right now. Well, I bought this thing with 64 gigs, and the fact that it can go up to 256 gigs, I'm just like, well, I could put the full 256 in here and just make Minecraft run at, like, 60 gigs. It'd be fucking hilarious.
We could run it at Let's Game It Out levels of gameplay.
Oh god, yeah, that's exactly. So Let's Game It Out. He probably has. By the way, sorry, I did mention to thank for those for Jonga. Thank you for the posture check and the stretch and the hydrate. I think he's mentioned once. I don't know if he's built a new one recently, but he had like, I don't know if he still does. I don't know if SLI is still a thing. It was for a while. There's still nothing wrong with running 2 graphics cards for certain reasons. I think he was running like 2 graphics cards. He had an obnoxious amount of RAM, and he was using like an i9 processor.
What about 4 graphics cards?
At that point, you're running a server. At that point, you're running a server, you're crypto mining, and that just means you're an asshole.
Oh.
Well, if you're running a server, there's reasons to run it on there's reasons to have that many graphics cards in a server. Especially if they're like virtual servers that like allow you. So, perfect example. Say when I finally do this, where I set up a virtual server for a Minecraft server.
You still haven't done that?
I keep forgetting to. I was trying to. So, what I was trying to do is I was trying to get ready for this trip, and I kept putting money aside for the trip instead of this. And so I wasn't thinking about it. Now that the trip's over, I have one more thing I got to pay off, but that's a thing where I'm forced to pay it off no matter what. So that's a different budgeting situation. But those kind of servers where it's like it's acting like it's another piece, where it's like hosting PCs or it's running stuff for games and things like that. That's a server where you're going to need a lot of graphics cards. And crypto mining, if you're an asshole.
What if you had a motherboard with 2 slots for processors?
That's a server motherboard. It's not very good for gaming. I've experimented.
Wait, really?
Yes. I work in IT. I used to work in IT, Hunt. I used to have access to this stuff just to play around with. They do make special motherboards that come with 2 processors. Usually it's just because so many people are accessing those servers that it needs the processing power. Gaming-wise, they actually don't like gaming. Those motherboards don't like gaming. It'll work. It's just, you have to install like special programs to where both processors will run the game together. You have to do a bunch of stuff to get it to work. It just doesn't work straight out of the box.
Would it be like, could you run a really complicated model?
You might be able to. I don't know. See, the thing is, models kind of work more like a video game, where it's a more graphics heavy thing. That's why the really cool models that you see some people have, when you turn on VTube Studio, it's just like when it starts up. So it's a graphics thing. So for me, the best option would be finding a twin to my graphics card and putting in a bigger power supply so it can run both.
For me, because for my power supply, I can put in 8 pins, and my current graphics card only has 6 pins.
That's because it's an optional thing. Some graphics cards use both. Some graphics cards use all 8, some use 6. It just depends on the manufacturer. I think the more powerful, the more powerful Uber graphics cards, some of them will even use like up to 12. So you have to use a 6 one and there's some that will use they'll use like 12 pins. Those are like the Uber graphics cards. You don't really see those in anything. For you though, you've got pretty much a decent setup. The only thing I would say is definitely upgrading your RAM. Like, Googling what your motherboard says its max can handle, and then looking at recommended RAM upgrades. You don't need to go with the fancy RGB.
I believe I could probably get really good RAM for a high price.
You don't have to get the high end stuff. You just have to get like you just have to get the nice mid range stuff.
Oh, I know, but
that's why I said you don't need to get the fancy stuff that's got like RGBs on it or anything. You just need.
Oh no.
You just need the ones that maybe have a heat sink on them. Just see what your motherboard can handle. Don't keep the one. Also, don't make the mistake of keeping the one. So, Windows 8 might be smart enough to do this, but the BIOS might not be smart enough to do this. Don't put the slower RAM back in. And be like, ooh, look, I bought 16 gigs of RAM and I saw I had 2 extra spaces. So I put the 16 gigs of RAM in the other. It's like, it's going to clock everything down to the 8 gigs.
So if you put the high-end RAM, like 4 high-end RAM in all the slots.
Yep.
Okay.
So if they're all so they all have to be the same size and speed. That's all that matters. As long as it's the same. So you could put 4 8-gig sticks in there. I don't know how your RAM is set up. I don't know if it's like 2 4-gig sticks. It's probably 1 8-gig stick in there if it's a new enough motherboard.
What if I get? No, I have 2 pieces of RAM in there.
So it's probably 4 gigs. So you could get 2 more 4-gig sticks, and that's 16 gigs. I would recommend going for like 16 or higher. Try and go for like.
I don't remember what, but I know it wasn't 4 gigs.
Well, you said you had 8.
Well, yeah, 8 available.
Well, that's why I said your physical is going to be around. That's why I say your physical installed physical memory, not total physical. So you said you had 8 gigs, so it's probably more like. It might be 12, which I do know is a weird thing. Yes, we're talking about weird, complicated computer stuff for Jonka.
Oh, yeah, okay. So...
Yeah, you've got... Whatever your physical is what I'm looking at.
16 gigs.
Oh, so you do have 16. Okay, so, yeah, that's... not actually, that's gonna run most of what you throw at it. For the most part. I know some people recommend to try and go for 32 now, because a lot of stuff is a little bit more resource heavy. But if you've only got 2 sticks in there, I would just get 2 more of the same stick.
If anything, let me see about terabytes.
No, there's no terabytes for RAM yet. Okay, there is, but you're not running a motherboard that can do it. I know for a damn fact you're not. I don't even have to Google your motherboard to know it can't. If you somehow have a motherboard that can do a terabyte, I'm like, how the hell did you get your hands on that powerful of a gaming motherboard and not put an i9 and a bunch of other powerful shit in there?
I found it in the dumpster.
Pretty much. I think there's a couple of gaming motherboards that can do terabyte, but they're like the several like motherboard that can. Is there
2 gigabytes?
Yeah, so to achieve 1 terabyte of RAM, you need a motherboard compatible with the CPU and RAM modules required to support that much memory. Specifically, you want a motherboard with enough DIMM slots and a CPU with an AMD Ryzen Threadripper series that supports 1 terabyte of RAM. You may have one. I only know of like a couple. In fact, I'm looking at one right now that can supposedly do it. It's $1,500.
I don't think I have that much money laying around.
Don't. If you somehow had found this, I would have been like, how and why? Yeah, I'm trying to see. Overclocking supports 2 terabyte. This thing supports up to 2 terabyte of DDR5.
Good gracious, that's even more.
Well, it's 8. It's 8 slots.
8 slots.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 slots for RAM. This thing is a workstation motherboard. It's probably actually a server rig. It's probably meant actually for servers. In fact, let me look at that processor. That.
Good gracious.
Yeah, this is like a server. This is a server because it says it's a workstation. So this is probably like for like somebody who works in like graphics designs. That's what this thing is for.
Oh, the best I've found so far is 64 gigabytes.
Most motherboards are going to handle 60. That's why I said most are going to handle anywhere from 64 to 256 for the price range you're looking at.
It has 4. It has 4 of the. It sells 4 in 1.
You mean?
And
oh yeah, most motherboards are going to be 4 slots.
Okay, yeah.
What you are looking at is, what I'm looking at is like the thing you do when you have like a graphics design company, and you need something that can run Photoshop without going. Yeah, there's not enough RAM.
And these guys, these are 16 gigabytes each.
That's why I said I would check if your motherboard can handle them first. Don't just go buy stuff.
Well, I think,
because
I'm pretty sure these guys.
So what you have to do is you have to look at your motherboard, see if it can handle 64 gigs. And then you have to see if it can handle the speed of that RAM. This is why I was saying Google your motherboard and be like, upgrade RAM when you're doing the Google search. It'll take you to the
Total physical memory is 15 gigabytes.
That doesn't matter. It's what's installed.
I mean, yeah, I know.
Installed physical is what we care about, not anything else. Anything else is like Windows is taking up part of that. Background stuff, graphics is taking up a little bit of that. This is actually funny enough why technically you can unplug certain stuff while your PC is running. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not going to tell you what to unplug because you will fuck it up if you do it wrong.
I probably will, knowing my luck.
You technically can unplug your hard drive while it's running.
Oh, that probably messed some stuff up.
Oh, it does. It can be done. If you try and save anything or run anything on that hard drive, it's gonna panic.
It's gonna be like, well, why did you do it?
You can actually, technically you can unplug the Windows hard drive, the one that has running Windows on it, while your PC is running. It's gonna freak out, and it's gonna do. If you try and do anything related to the hard drive, it's gonna panic. Because technically what happens is, when your PC starts up, what your RAM does is it takes a screenshot of all the hard drives. It takes a screenshot of Windows and the main drive that Windows is on. And maybe like some of your other hard drives. So essentially it's just doing the bare minimum of what it can do. This is why the more RAM you have, the more processes you can do. The more that screenshot will do when it starts up. Or while it's running.
Faster it'll stuff like the startup?
Hmm?
Like the faster it'll start up too?
Yes, to an extent. That's a processor thing, and that's a BIOS thing, and that's a couple of other things. But for the most part, what your PC is doing with the RAM. What the RAM does is it looks at the hard drive that your Windows is on, and it takes a screenshot of that. I'm summing it down, and I'm sure there's going to be another PC person who's like, well, that's not actually what it does. And I'm like, listen, do you want me to actually explain it, or do you want me to explain it in a way where it's going to make sense?
I prefer to understand the explanation.
Exactly. basically what the RAM is doing is it takes a screenshot of your hard drive, specifically the one that Windows is running on, and it's essentially going to start up every process that it figures you're going to start up. So anything that starts up with Windows, it's going to start that. That being said, if it's something that needs the hard drive, or it needs to pull something from the hard drive, that's where it's going to need the hard drive. So yeah, technically, once this starts, you technically could do stuff as long as it's stuff like startup process stuff. The minute you do anything that needs to read or write to one of your hard drives, your PC's going to just freak out and possibly crash.
That wouldn't be good.
No. This is why anytime you're doing anything with your hardware, turn your PC off and unplug it for good measure. Technically, I should also warn you about using anti-static straps, but compared to older hardware, newer hardware is not as bad about it.
Yeah, I've heard the danger, well, not the specific dangers, but the warnings about static.
Okay, so older stuff used to have to worry about running static through it because you could fry a capacitor with like a small voltage going through it. Nowadays, with a lot of stuff, you technically can't hurt it as much. So I'm not as worried about it.
Except like hard drives and...
Well, it depends on the type of hard drive. If it's there's 3 types of hard drives you're going to come across. There's technically more than that, but the
like
3 that you're going to deal
SSD.
The 3 that you're going to deal with are IDE hard drives. You're never going to see those anymore, but they're the old school. You plug a ribbon into them. They're the old school ribbon hard drives, the big fat hard drives. There's physical, so there's 2 different types of that IDE hard drives. There's the old school fat ones that you had to plug a wire in, a ribbon cable into. You're never going to see those. If you see one of those, you're using a very old PC. There's the newer version of them that uses what's called they're called SATA drives, are the newer ones, but they function on the same process. When you look up like old school mechanical hard drives, it's the little arm that kind of works like a record player, where it's actually scratching the data onto the drive. Those are called SATA drives. Then you're going to deal with SSDs. Those are the ones that I think you're thinking of. They use the same kind of cable, but they look like a laptop hard drive. Because it's just cheaper to sell them as like a laptop hard drive. They're, in short explanation, they're like a thumbstick. It's a microchip you're plugging in. They don't work exactly like a thumbstick, but that's the easiest way to describe them. And then there's the new kind of hard drive. They're called NVMe hard drives. NVMe hard drives are these tiny little things. You're going to mistake it for a thumbstick with what it looks like. But it uses this very specific port. And in fact, most motherboards, most newer motherboards, are going to have an NVMe slot somewhere on it now, if it's a new enough motherboard. And they can get stupidly powerful. They don't create a lot of heat. And they almost kind of have their own built-in RAM and processor on them too. So NVMe's are really good. Or at least that's the thing everybody's saying is really good right now. This PC I'm using is using is it a 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte? I think it's
NVMe.
You probably don't have one. You're probably using an SSD.
$41.
Well, you need to see if you can even handle one first. Or even if you already have one, unless you have more than one slot on your motherboard, you probably already got one plugged in if you don't have one in.
Yeah, I think I do already. I have more than one slot, I believe.
What the hell is taking up all the space on here? Oh, probably video games recordings.
Ooh, speaking of stuff like that, have you heard of a cooling thing to where it basically just physically moves heat from the CPU to a cooling tower electronically? It literally just sucks the heat out of the
That's a heat sink.
Oh.
All heat sinks function the same way. It's pull heat, push cold onto something hot so it pulls heat away. It's just how it does it. Most of them are going to use big fat pieces of some sort of metal that pulls heat away easily, like aluminum or something like that, or steel. It's going to pull heat away, and usually you're going to have a fan pushing air through it and another one pulling air through it. Air cooling is kind of hit or miss. There's hybrid liquid cooling, where it's a self-enclosed system, where it's like 2 hard drives you put on top of the... It's like 2 fans you put somewhere on the PC, and then it's like a thing you put on top of your processor. Self-contained liquid coolings are interesting. I do recommend them. I think this one actually might have one. I gotta look. And then there's proper liquid cooling. And proper liquid cooling is the kind where you actually have to like top off the liquid. Like there's a liquid reservoir somewhere in there you have to top off every few weeks or months. And it uses like a slightly thinner coolant, like that's similar like cars use. I'm not going to recommend the super fancy liquid cooling to you. I'll recommend the self-enclosed system to you if you're going to get one. Just understand this, the more heat you can get away from your PC, the better.
There's one time I saw a video of someone as an experiment, cooling the PC and the CPU with ice.
That can work. It has to be something... It's not going to last very long. I think I've seen somebody do it with dry ice before. This is actually a PC you can build. It's just, it's going to be expensive because it's mineral oil. You can build a fish tank. A legit fish. You can't put fish in it, obviously, because it's going to be, you're submerging it in mineral oil. But what you do is you take all the moving parts off of your PC. You can technically keep them on, they'll still kind of work. It's just, you might burn the motors out. But you can submerge a PC in mineral oil.
Oh, I've seen that before. I've actually seen a couple of fish tanks like that. It is pretty.
It's cool. I don't recommend it because you do have to replace the mineral oil every so often because it does evaporate out because of the heat and stuff. And it's expensive to keep it.
It just have a couple of gallons.
But that's the thing. It's like you have to have enough to keep the motherboard submerged. And the problem is it does evaporate, so you have to keep topping it off. Anything where you have to top off supplies like that kind of causes problems with things. This is why I'm not going to recommend you like a full-on liquid cooling set, because that also means you have to modify your case. You have to do a bunch of other stuff to make it work, unless you have a case built with water cooling in mind. Whereas most cases are built with a self-contained system in mind, where you just put this big block that's got coolant in it. It's got usually 2 to 4 fans on it. You just put it somewhere on the PC to help pull air out, to cool everything down, or to push air in, and then have another like exhaust fan or 2 pulling more air out, just to keep everything cold.
I just hope I can keep this PC going.
as long as you've got everything cool and it's running relatively fine, you're not gonna have to worry about it. As long as you put thermal paste on your processor with the cooling, you're fine. It's just
Don't worry, it came pre-applied.
Oh, it's one of those. I was like, what do you mean it came pre-applied? I'm like, oh, right, there's a few new ones where it has a sticker you peel off and it's got thermal paste already on it. I don't...
Thank goodness it did, though. Thank goodness.
Here's the thing. Thermal paste is like $1. Like, good thermal paste is like $1. If you're paying more than like a couple of bucks for thermal paste, you're getting ripped off.
I've seen on Amazon for like $6, $7.
Yeah. You don't need the dirt cheap stuff. You don't need the super expensive, like, cooling crystal or whatever the hell I've seen. Like, like, it should not cost over... It should not cost a lot for thermal paste. I think, in general, as long as it's under, like, $6, it's fine. And there's people who will tell you if it's over that, if it's even over that, that might be too much. I think there's people who just buy like the cheap 50-cent stuff and just throw it on there. You need like... I'm trying to think of how much it is, because everybody's got their preferred method. All it is you're trying to just give a thin layer on top of the heat of the processor to cool it, to help an exchange between the processor and the cooling system, so that it helps with heat transfer better. Some people have the X method, some people do the 5 dots, some people do a slightly big dollop and they just push it down to spread it out. Everyone has their preferred method. As long as it's like a majority of the processor is covered, that's all that matters. Trust me, you can look up multiple videos where everybody has an argument about it. As long as there is a thin, like not spurting out the sides, thin layer of thermal paste on it, that's all that matters.
What I've seen is like an X with 4 dots.
I've seen, like I said, everyone has their preferred method. I have tried several different. Understand this. As long as a majority of the processor is covered, that's all that matters. There is no real difference between any method. Because all that thermal paste is doing is it's helping it's a heat exchange. It helps the heat exchange happen in a much more efficient way. It also potentially keeps the processor from not getting welded to your heat sink.
Yeah, that would help.
Well, I wouldn't say welded. It's more like if there's anything that could potentially cause like a really is to keep it's a heat exchange. It's also in case like, oh hey, I put 2 different metals that don't like to interact with each other. Like the metal that's on the processor does not like the metal on your heatsink. It's going to help that too. Because you know how you can't put like, what is it, aluminum and, was it like aluminum and steel don't like to be next to each other. They actually cause like a weird binding situation. I'm trying to remember which metal it is. It's like there's certain metals where if you put these two metals next to each other, one will seep into the other and like cause it to corrode like twice as fast.
Gallium doesn't like, well, aluminum doesn't like gallium because gallium will completely eviscerate it.
Hi, Sin City. How you doing? I know there's a few metals that are like that where they don't like each other. And I think there are some heat sinks that are made out of that metal, and I think processors tend to be made out of a different one. So that's another reason for thermal paste, is just so you don't have that situation happening where it's like, hey, my $500 processor just got eaten by my $20 heatsink.
I wonder how this gallium thermal paste will do.
Thermal paste is, like I said, it's a something neutral thing. I forget what it's actually called because it says somewhere on the packaging what it is. And that's basically why it's used in. It's the best way to describe it. It's like grease in cars where you put grease between like two parts that aren't supposed to really like interact with each other, but they both move or have the potential to move. Like, you know how you'll put grease between the two parts of your like head gasket and the actual like motor?
Yeah.
That's basically what it's meant for. It's to do stuff like that too. It does a lot. Thermal paste does a lot of work. You just don't think it does. The thing is, you don't need. It's not like a car where you need good stuff for good performance. You just need something that does the process. Because if anybody's trying to sell you on really expensive thermal paste, they're probably getting paid to sell it.
Like graphite.
It's something weird. It's one of those things where it's just like, if it's the really expensive stuff, somebody's getting paid to sell that stuff. It's also because they know somebody's going to be dumb enough to buy it, because it's like, well, it's the most expensive. It's got to be the best. No.
Me.
Well, that's why I'm warning you. Don't do it. Just buy like the average price stuff that's like $3 to $5, whatever it is. Technically, you could use the dollar stuff, but
I'm also interested in buying some jewelry making stuff, other than.
See, that's a different story. That's a. I don't really know anything about that, so that's you kind of have to do your research on that.
That's what I did. I'm looking to, because what I found was stainless steel ring bands that I could make some stuff with. And what I found was, what I wanted to do was, because I have a ring that I wanted to take the jewel off of and then set it in one of the ring bands and put it in one of my fingers. I just need a good soldering method.
Well, that's looking into different soldering kits. I don't know what soldering iron you would use for that stuff. It's going to be something that's probably on the low end. Just because it's like the kind of solder that you would use for that. Hell, you might even be able to get away with just having like a blowtorch and some solder.
Oh no, I can't have a blowtorch indoors.
Well, no shit.
$71 for a darn soldering iron.
Yeah, see what they got at Harbor Freight.
Nah, that's a UY Chan, so.
It's Harbor Freight. You're either going to buy the worst tool ever or the best tool ever. And there is no in between. It's just you're gonna buy it, and then it's just.
Right now, I'm at Amazon looking at stuff.
That's why I said I would say. I would say check with like some people if they recommend stuff like the ones at like Harbor Freight or something and get like a cheap one like that to start out with. Don't get like the really expensive one because if you end up hating making jewelry, it's like, yeah, let's not. Get like a nice mid-range one or like lower end mid-range one.
I mean, I like making jewelry. It's just none of it stayed because the materials I had were crap.
Well, in that case, then it's like in that case, it's doing your research and seeing like, okay, what's the good mid-range but not too high range one for soldering irons and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because most of my stuff was from Walmart or a craft store, and it all oxidized.
Well, you might be able to fix some of it. All right.
Like one piece of jewelry I made, it covered my hand, and it took I'd say 2 years for it to stop oxidizing altogether.
Yeah, that's something got affected by that stuff.
2 years of constant use.
Yeah, well, that's just natural wear and tear, and you might be able to replace the tips and stuff. But I am seeing that it is getting close to time to go.
Dang.
Well, I have to be up at 3 in the morning. Well, 3:30.
It's 1 in the morning for me.
Well, it's 10:12, and I'm pushing it by. This is the problem: is I push myself with doing streams, because what happens is I have to come home and take like a nap. I have to take like a 40-minute to an hour nap to kind of make up for it, because pretty much what's about to happen is I'm gonna turn everything off, and then I'm gonna go lay in bed, and there's like a 50-50 shot I might stay awake for another 40 minutes. But I'll be in bed at least, so it's like if I fall asleep, I fall asleep.
I was pushing myself yesterday because you know how I said I was doing some emotes?
Mm-hmm.
Because yesterday I was working on. Hold on, let me see. I was working on some emotes for a streamer, and I actually got them done today.
Oof.
And hold on. There they are.
Oh, cute.
They are very lovely. It took me a week. It shouldn't have taken me a week to do all those. Though I wouldn't say I put forth any less than my best.
Because it's not the first time I've fallen asleep while streaming.
Really?
Oh, there's been several times where we've been watching like ghost videos and stuff. Where I literally, if you watch my model, I was literally just like, Bob.
Good gracious.
You think it's funny, but as
Hey.
long as nobody heard me snore, it's like I just seemed like I was just not really interested in the video.
Bob and 2 and something.
Like I said, it was just one of those things where you just would watch my model, like the eyes would be closed in my head with Bob, and I just like, yes, yes, interesting, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Titanic. That's Titanic. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I think next on my agenda is making a model out of this handsome fella you see on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And see where I can go from there.
Yeah, like I said, start with the Vroid stuff because that's going to be like the easiest to get like assets and stuff. You're not going to be 1-to-1 with a Vroid because unless you get really good at it, or find somebody who's really good at messing with Vroid stuff.
Oh, I'll find a way to mess with it myself.
Well, that's why I said it's one of those things where it's like you probably will.
I will count the pixels myself if I have to.
But yeah, let's see if he is still going. Because we got asked to raid a specific person, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to go raid somebody and she's going to be sitting there like, oh, hi.
Think?
Micah's still going.
I think, yeah, she is. Hold on, let me see. She's been going for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Well, no, we got, at the very beginning, Shiny did a guide the raid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she beat you to it by like a lot.
Gosh dang it.
Well, I think he's got some special thing coming out soon, so that's why. Micah Igneous. Alright, we're going to send you over to Micah Igneous, who's playing Buckshot Roulette with some friends. The fact that the statue can hold a shotgun is amazing to me. But we'll try and be back tomorrow with some mini painting. Actually, we should be back tomorrow with mini painting because I'm off the next day. And then after that, we'll see. But other than that, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye, everybody. Hope you have a lovely night and a lovely morning.
Yep. Alright. Y'all get a good rest, and I'll see you all later. Bye, my lovelies.
The
Man, I just love